Not only did I try and replicate one of my favorite YouTubers' lighting setups, but I also did it with the kit that I had laying around my office. Join me and I'll show you how I tried to replicate this space together. I think I did it quite wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've got a plan, and the plan is as follows.
Okay, in today's video, we're going to be trying to replicate Expel's streaming setup. If you don't know who Expel is and you play Call of Duty, then you should probably check his channel out. In my opinion, the best content creator for Call of Duty right now. And he has a very sexy setup. His lighting is spot on, and in every single video it seems to change and evolve, and he adjusts things. Sometimes he has the blind open, sometimes he has it shut. Sometimes he has the red accent light on, sometimes he has it off, sometimes he has it a different color. And he has just added the hair light as well, and it's more of a face light for him because it comes down the right hand side of his face, and it just makes him pop out from that background. So before we actually start moving all of this stuff about, I want to just dive in and analyze this video a little bit. Firstly, camera settings and placement and lenses. I was always quite confident he was on a fairly wide lens, especially on his older setup, but I'm pretty sure on this setup, he's on maybe a 50mm or a 30mm lens, and he's quite a long way away from the camera. I'm guessing about this far away. Now, I might be completely wrong about that, but that's just the impression I get from the compression of his video. This lovely shallow depth of field. He's always in focus. He never has any focus breathing, so it means either his camera's really good at focusing in continuous autofocus, or he's in manual focus, which I don't think is the case. I'm gonna guess he's on a Sony camera because sometimes he crops into the image and then it crops back out again, meaning he's shooting in 4K, and I reckon he's probably going directly into his computer via some kind of 4K capture card. Now, another clue we have with regards to lighting is this. Did you see it? It's really hard to stop it in the right place. There we go, there we go. So we've stopped it in the right place. So you can see quite a small looking square in the reflection of his glasses, which is obviously his key light. Now, either that's a very small light like the Elgato streaming lights, or it's a light maybe this big, but it's further away from him. And I'm gonna go with that. I think it's a bigger softbox than an Elgato little streaming panel. Also, it's square, and I think they tend to be rectangular. And it just gives him a really nice, soft, even light across his face. And by the position of that light and where he's looking, it looks like the light is just off and up to his left. Which also makes sense because he's got a little bit of shadow just coming in down around his right cheek. I don't have any square lights, I don't have any square modifiers, but I am going to be using a smaller version of this softbox that I used in the last video, probably the Aputure Light Dome Mini 2. Okay, so in this shot, you can see that hair light coming in from that his top right hand corner. I don't know what it is. It looks again like some kind of little panel, but I'm not so sure about that. Again, I'm going to be using the same thing I used in the last video. And we've also got that lamp over in the back corner. I will be trying to replicate that somehow. So, the position that he's shooting in, it looks like he's kind of in the corner of a room, or the camera's in the corner of the room, then he's slightly into the room a little bit, but I like how he's shooting across a room. The only thing I don't like is that I have very little way of doing that. The back wall that's in his shot, I'm going to be using my back wall, which has got the blue lights, and I'm going to move the camera to somewhere like here by this monitor. I'm going to be sitting somewhere around here. We're going to mount the hair light up in that corner, shooting down this way, and I'm going to move this table to that back corner. The other problem I'm going to have is I don't have a 100K YouTube play button, so I might steal his. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm just going to take you off of here for a minute. I'm going to move this table because it's got all of this attached to it at the minute. Get the camera roughly in the right position. I probably won't change the lens yet because I'm still not sure about that. But when I get it over there, we'll change the lens. We'll see if we can get something close to what he's using. If he's using something like the Tamron 24-70, I don't have one of those, so I'm just going to have to get it as close as I possibly can. Right, this is probably going to be about 2 hours work for me, and it's going to be 1 second for you. Okay, so I've moved the camera into this corner. I've also moved this desk, and you can see I've got a monitor, so I can see roughly what it looks like. And I don't think I'm a million miles away with the camera placement. Looking at how far away his desk is from him, like the desk with the YouTube play button, I think we're about right. My legs are literally in a chest of drawers at the minute, so that's not ideal. But we're not going to actually be playing any Call of Duty, so that shouldn't be a problem. I have done a little test. Let me know what you think of this. So this is APS-C mode on the Sony a7C on a 20mm lens, which makes it a 36mm lens, something like that. So maybe he's on a 35 and the camera is further back. Next thing we're going to do is sort the lighting out, because obviously it looks terrible at the minute. And I might have to get rid of this arm as well. I don't really want to do that because it would be a pain. But I think if we do something like that, he kind of fills that frame a little bit more than I am. I reckon something like that. Literally, I have a chest of drawers on either side of my knees. But I don't think our framing is too far off. Other than I'd say his desk is at more of an angle than mine. So what I'm going to do is bring that camera over to there. Here we go. Here we go. We're starting to get there. That desk is still at more of an angle. Something else I've noticed is the camera's almost pointing down a little bit. So I'm going to lift that camera up a little bit. And then we're going to point it back down. Here we go. So now we're getting that more dramatic angle on that desk. He obviously has this set up. He's not setting it up every day. And he has said in his latest video that he's going to be changing this setup entirely. So I really wanted to do this video before he changed it. Yeah, I think if we couldn't see this part of the frame, it would look pretty similar. Right, let's turn off all the lights and I'm going to add the little Aputure Light Dome Mini that I talked about earlier. This is the Aputure Light Dome Mini, if anyone was interested. This is about the size of it. Good little lighting modifier, not something I use all the time. I like to go for a bigger, softer light, but this will suit our needs pretty well, I think. So as you can see, there's a lot of things wrong with this shot. Firstly, well overexposed. Secondly, the light is in the wrong position. Let's move it back. Okay, I think we're getting there. I think the light needs to come down a little bit more and face me more front on. Because he's wearing a cap, if the light was up above his head, then he'd be casting quite a big shadow on his forehead, whereas I think the light is almost level with the camera. So I brought the ISO of the camera back down to 100. I'm struggling to get this light in the right position. I think it needs to move over that way and back, but I'm struggling for mounting points. Also, the color of his light isn't very warm, so I might have to change the white balance of the camera. Let's have a look. Okay, so I don't think we're miles away. I think when I've finished this video, I'm going to crop it in a little bit more. I think he might be on something like a 40mm, because I can see like up to here on him, whereas I can see all the way down to here on me. We're settings wise, we're at ISO 100, we're at 1.8 aperture and 1/50th of a second. We're in daylight white balance. This is part of the monitor. Let me just move that out of the way a little bit. There we go. I'm going to move that before I'm finished. And obviously I need to be this way a bit more. So this is where we decided I was going to be, about here, wasn't it? So that's not bad. I think I'm roughly in about the right position. So the next thing I really need to do is get rid of these frames on the wall, and we're going to add that hair light. By the way, I'm literally ripping my office apart for this video, so I hope you're enjoying it. If you are, let me know in the comment section below. Okay, not bad. I think also there might be a light lighting up that YouTube play button, because obviously there's light on the table in front of it, but there isn't any light on the table behind it. So we might have an extra light lighting that up. That's going to be tricky because, like I said earlier, I don't have a YouTube play button. But let's add this hair light and see what it looks like. Don't mind this. So I was looking at the placement of his hair light and I thought it was going to be going right up in that corner, but because we can see a little bit of it, I assume that is his hair light. It might not be. That might be what's lighting up the YouTube play button. But we're going to assume it's not. We're going to assume his hair light is coming from that position. So I thought it was going to be up in that corner. Turns out it's going to be more like here, like a little bit higher than that. Okay, so I think we're starting to get there, although I am quite hot now, so I apologize if I look all hot and sweaty. But that light in the corner is kind of reminiscent of the light that he's using. I'd say that the light on my face is harsher than the light on his, so he might have another light that he's using, but for the time being, we're going to leave it like that. Now, something he does have, which I don't have, is an XPEL hat. And I'm sorry, XPEL, I should have bought one, but I do have a hat. It's just a hat which a GoPro goes on. Do you even sell your hats? Hey, there we go. Right. So, which way are you looking? You're kind of looking like that, so you're gaming like this. This eye is in shadow, this eye isn't. So I just popped the footage that I've already shot onto my computer to have a look at it to see how far off I am. And this light is not in the right place. When I had the hat on, you can see that there's a real peak of a shadow here, which isn't present with him. So I think that light is even lower down than I've got it. So I will be adjusting that at some point in this video. But we're going to move on for the moment onto some more fun stuff. So the next thing I'm going to try and add is the color that's going along the back of that desk. We're going to use the same sticks that we used last time, if I can remember where I put them. Okay, so I've messed up a bit. There's a light stand currently on this desk. You can't see it at the moment because it's in shadow, but if I turn this light on, you're going to see that light stand. So what I'm going to do is take that light stand and put that light on it so I can get it closer to the camera and a little bit lower, and I'm going to take the arm that this light's on and I'm going to move it over here and attach it to this monitor bracket so I can put that light in the right position. And then I have to figure out some way of mounting these just under the surface of the desk. And off the top of my head, I can't actually think of a way of doing it, so bear with me. I'm going to swap those two what are they called? Lighting stands around, but hopefully it shouldn't look any different, other than this light should be a little bit lower. Okay, I think we're making good progress. That light is now lower. I think it's nearly in the right position. It's almost touching the lens of that camera now. It's so close. That light is now on an arm coming off the side, so there's nothing on this desk anymore that's going to interfere with it. Let's pop a hat on. Let's get my hair out of the way. Too much hair. I know XPEL doesn't have that problem. And yeah, I think that looks a lot better. So I've got a little shadow from the peak just here, but that's not too bad. I think that's as close as we're going to get with that light being in the right position. I think he's using something else. XPEL, I'd love to know what light you're actually using in that position because it's been driving me insane. Okay, you're probably going to think I'm mad. I've added a little bit of red. I think that's as much red as I'm going to be able to add to this shot. I'm going to tell you how I did it. So I couldn't figure out any way of actually mounting it there. So I'm using this RGB tube on top of a picture frame. This is one of the picture frames off my wall, which I've then put a jumper on, because if I don't put a jumper on it, you can see the picture frame because the red lights it up. So if I put a jumper over the frame and put it back into position, down there is just still black, which is what we want. So we're going to add one of these. I'll see what it looks like with two. These should both be set to the same color. And I'm not suggesting for one moment that XPEL is using a picture frame with a black jumper over it to mount his lights, but that's the only way I can think of doing this, so that's how I'm going to be doing it for this video. And I don't think it's too far off. The only thing I think we're missing is something actually lighting up the desk for the play button to sit on and the lamp in the corner. So I'm going to work on those next. I'm going to be turning those lights off because they are battery powered and they're probably going to die if I just leave them there. So for the light that he's got going on his desk that's in view, I'm going to just be using a little RGB panel from Andy Cine. And I think, I originally thought the light was going across the table like this, but after playing around, I think it's actually like that, or something like that. Obviously it's a different colour, and I think that's more due to the fact that my desk is stained and his is maybe not, or it's stained a different colour. So I'm not going to be able to replicate the colour of that desk, but I think it's a daylight rated light that he's using. I think it is just the colour of the wood that's different. So I'm going to be popping this up above it. Something like that. That's not too bad. We're getting closer. Okay, the last thing I need to do is go and grab a lamp from the house and put that in the corner. And I think we're pretty much there. God, I look like a hot and sweaty mess. And this place literally looks like a Best Buy has exploded. Best Buy is an American thing. We don't have Best Buy in the UK. So like the RGB tubes, the little panel is also battery powered, so I'll turn that off for the minute. We know it's going to work. Last piece of the puzzle is a lamp. But all I have is a lampshade. But I do have an idea. I have another little RGB panel, which I think I'm just going to pop in the lamp like so, to make it look like a lampshade. I mean, it is a lampshade. To make it look like a lamp. Right, I think we're basically there. The only thing missing, of course, is that play button. So if you liked today's video, give it a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'd be really appreciative. And Expel, if you're watching this video, please keep up the good work. I absolutely love your content. Watch it every single day religiously. And if there's anything I've got drastically wrong, please let me know. I'd really like to know if there was anything I could have done better with what I've got available to me. Thank you all for watching. See you again next time.
Y'all have a great day. I gotta leave. Get out of here. Have a good one.